Hey guys, this is Sarah and today I'm doing my December wrap-up. This month I read a total of 8 books, which I am pretty pumped about, mostly because in the month of December there's so much going on with the holidays, spending time with family, and I also took a trip for Christmas which lasted a whole week, so I was very excited and surprised that I got to read as many books as I did. All the books that I read this month I really enjoyed, so without further ado, let's get started. The first book that I'm going to mention is not the first book that I read this month, but it is a book that I read throughout the entire month from December 1st to December 24th. And that is My True Love Gave to Me, 12 Holiday Stories, edited by Stephanie Perkins. I read this book as part of the 12 Golden Reads Read-Along hosted by Megan Olivier and A Bottle of Signay. So I'll leave the link to the Goodreads group and both their channels in the description box. I had so much fun during this read-along. I loved the setup of it. They had it so that you had to read one story every 2 days. So it was very flexible for me. I got to choose which of the days that I wanted to read it on. It also gave me time to read other books at the same time, which I really appreciated. And overall, I enjoyed the majority of the stories. There were a few that I did not like at all. Just not my cup of tea, but the majority of them I really liked and really enjoyed. For my Goodreads review, I have a compilation of a rating and a small description of my thoughts for each one of the stories. So if you'd like to check that out, you can find my Goodreads page link at the bottom of every one of my videos, including this one. The first book that I read this month was How to Fall in Love by Cecilia Ahern. This is an adult contemporary romance novel that was on my November TBR, which I started in the last few days of November and decided to continue reading until the end and finished in December. I really enjoyed this book, so much so that I have a book review that I uploaded a few days ago. If you'd like to check that out, the link will be in the description box as well. The next book that I read was The Fallen 3 by Thomas E. Sniegowski. This includes the book End of Days, which is the 6th book in the Fallen series. These books are so much fun. I love them a lot. They're about angels, fallen angels, and their offspring and the Nephilim, and the fate of the world as it stands right now. I absolutely enjoyed these books. The next book that I read was A Beautiful Dark by Jocelyn Davis. This is the first book in her A Beautiful Dark trilogy. I enjoyed this book. I liked the premise and I like the world building, but I was not blown away by it. I definitely enjoyed it and it was good, but there were some things that I was a little bit iffy about. This month I also reread Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. It's the first book in the Hush Hush series, and I definitely did like it less than I did the first time around. I was so young when I read it the first time. I think I was like 15, and it was the first book I've ever read about angels and fallen angels and stuff like that. So I think that kind of swept me up a little bit, but this time it was just an average book for me. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, it was just okay. The next book that I read was book number 2 in the A Beautiful Dark trilogy called A Fractured Light by Jocelyn Davis. Definitely a step up from the first book. I absolutely adored this one. The stakes were higher, there was much more suspense. There was so much character development for the main character. I feel like she really grew in this book, grew into her own, and they set you up for a huge battle that's supposed to happen in the 3rd book. So I really, really enjoyed this. The last 2 books that I read this month, I have not finished them yet, but I'm counting them because I am 78% through one and 50% through another. So by the time it is December 31st, which is in a few days, I'm sure I will be finished with them. First book is Crescendo by Becca Fitzpatrick. It is the 2nd book in the Hush Hush series. This is the one I'm 78% through. Not sure how I feel about it. I'm definitely much more invested in it. I am more interested in reading the first book. I had to force myself to pick up a few times and then stuck with it. but this one I'm actually looking forward to getting down into the world again. This is also a reread for me, but it doesn't really feel like it because I've read it so long that I don't remember really what happens, so I feel like it's still a fresh new book. And the last book that I'm reading this month is the last book in the A Beautiful Dark trilogy, which is A Radiant Sky. I am halfway through this book and I am really enjoying it. There's not as much action as I thought there would be in the beginning, but I feel like things are building up and I am so excited to finish it. I'm blowing through it. I heard a lot of mixed reviews about this trilogy, but I'm really liking it. So definitely watch out for those two ratings and reviews on my Goodreads page. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what books you've read this month, any recommendations about angels, fallen angels, and that type of stories. Let me know down in the comments. I love reading about this subject. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!